Are we going
Yay!
live?
We're live! Hello!
We
My
made
name-
it.
My name
No,
is
it's really funny. So I just realised I've got my T-shirt on that says "Having a Meltdown." I feel like this is really relevant.
Hello, Facebook. This was not supposed to be on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nat Hills,
Hi.
aka country artist from Essex, or could I say country rock, pop, soul, powerhouse vocalist.
Bit of everything.
Bit of everything, all thrown into one. And we were on Instagram, and I've fallen out of Instagram because I was introducing, and then it connected, and I couldn't hear her, but everybody else could. That was weird.
It was really weird. But we made it in the end. We've made it in the end.
Well, see, this is seamless. This is how it should go. But Facebook only keeps live streams for 3 days, I think. No, 3 days, 30 days. And I always feel that there's more engagement in Instagram lives when you're doing them, because people kind of come in and out.
On Facebook?
And Instagram. But Facebook tends not to have, like, I don't know if, because I don't see people here yet. But that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really been. The only place that I ever go live is on TikTok.
That is something I maybe would be good using, but I've not actually got into it. I have one, but
I reckon you'd probably do really well on there, because the good thing about TikTok is you do get lots of people that are constantly just kind of like coming in. It just reaches so many more people, I think, on TikTok. The only problem is that when you do it on TikTok, is that you often get people coming into the chat just saying like randomly gross things. So there's a lot of kind of like blocking that has to happen mid TikTok live. So yeah,
maybe not. Anyway, let's finish that session of how Instagram is very frustrating, and figure that out later on. Welcome to Voice of a Woman. It has been really cool to actually get to know Nat Hills today in many ways. I have listened to your EP a few times, and it rocks.
Oh, cool! Thank you so much.
There's a lot of strong empowerment, and I don't give a feck what you're saying to me. I'm just going to be me now and get to feck, basically. Is part of what I hear strongly. And
good. I've done the job then.
And your voice is a powerhouse voice, is what I would say. Hello, Bob.
Bob, you've made it.
You made it. Thank goodness that we're now here. See, this was seamless.
It's a shame I can't see who's joining. That's the only thing.
Can you not?
No.
Is it me that can see that? I thought you'd be able to see that.
Oh, I can see it. I was on private chat, so I just go on to comments.
Private, it's comments.
I can't comment, but I can see the comments.
You should be able to comment as well, because you should be able to. But anyway,
let's not overcomplicate it, because we can't do the simple things for some reason.
Well, see, I'm not even going to go into it, because I'll just my blood will boil again. I can feel it.
That's it.
I really enjoyed listening to the EP very much. It's a very strong, and that's your debut EP, isn't it? Which is very strong. That's a very strong debut.
Thank you.
And I know that when we talk about genre, I don't think there's very clear genres in any style of music anymore. Music is good music, and I think how one person defines country music these days is not how another person will define it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I just think now that it's what genre doesn't help artists anymore, and boxing doesn't help people and humans anymore.
No.
But a lot of radio stations and a lot of like PR and all that like to box it. They like to put it on.
Yeah, and it's quite frustrating, really.
That's that, and then just
Yeah.
but it just doesn't help, I don't think.
No, and I've never been somebody that like fits in a box anyway. I've never wanted to. I hate labels. I hate labels. It's one of the reasons why I've never kind of taken my daughter to be assessed for autism, because even though it was something that was recommended to me once, I was like, well, what's it going to change? Like, she doesn't need to have a label. Like, I can accept her for who she is. And like when I was younger, you know, I never got kind of diagnosed with anything, and I've just lived. Yeah, they are a nuisance, and I've just lived my life not knowing and just figured things out. You know, so I think I just hate labels, and it is really frustrating with music because there are so many different ways of describing country music. Like if you look at Morgan Wallen, for example, I would say that his music, I wouldn't say his music's country. I would say his music is more on your kind of like R&B, hip hop style. That's what I think that sounds like. Luke Combs, I don't even know how you say his name. It's either Combs or Coombs. I swear no one gets it right. But anyway, Luke, we're going to be on just first name terms. I'm trying to get this light so it looks.
I would say Combs, but that's because it looks like a comb with an S.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I think it's Comb. I think it's Combs, but then whenever then you'll come across someone and say it's not Combs, it's Coombs. But anyway,
then the W. Anyway,
W. I would say he's got more of a, you know, that is country, but I would say it's more of a rock sound to a lot of his music, because it's the music, or like Chris Stapleton as well. Like I think he falls into that kind of category. So yeah, I think it's a lot more nuanced than just saying, oh, this is a classical country sound and therefore that's country. For me, country is storytelling. It's three chords and the truth. And although all of my songs are like really big songs, they all start exactly the same. They all started off life as three chords and the truth. In fact, Jackie Says So is two chords. No, that's a lie. There is a C chord in there somewhere. So it's like 2.5 chords. Because I'm very simple in terms of I've not been playing guitar for that long, so I have to make my songs really simple, and then I give them to a producer and say, can you make it sound a little bit more exciting than this? So they all do start off as three chords and the truth, and then it's just my influences growing up that I stick into it.
Well, it's like that happens with all genres of music. I mean, Alan Jackson himself said that country music in his, well, when he started off, doesn't exist now in this day and age because it's that much. So he said it doesn't actually exist now in his kind of brand, or however that is supposed to be defined. And who defines country music now anyway? Because it's difficult to classify music these days. Blues, jazz, rock. It is difficult. I mean, even pop music, like you have Pink as pop, and then you have Steps as pop.
Yeah, but then also pop music. I remember saying this to the producer when I was working with Jackie Says So. I said, when I first started writing it, I was really worried it was going to be like a Taylor Swift. And this is really awful because I don't have like, I recently did a Shotgun 6 with Tony, and he asked me, it was like a quick fire question. He said, Taylor Swift is, and I had to finish the sentence, and I said overrated, and it was like my brain just said a word, and I thought, oh no, now I'm going to get lots of Swifties like coming for me. And it's not like I don't like Taylor Swift. I do. I hugely respect her, but I don't enjoy a lot of her music. And so when I first started writing Jackie Says So, it felt very Taylor Swift. And I remember saying to the producer, I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be a pop song, but I almost feel like it needs to have that pop feel to it for it to be more mainstream. And he said to me, but pop music is just whatever's popular at the time. So pop even isn't a genre, because he said pop could be rock if that's what's the most popular at the time. So that's why you can have Pink and you can have Sabrina Carpenter, and you can also have, I don't know, probably even some Lainey Wilson songs, and call them pop, because it's just what's popular at the time. So potentially country is currently pop music.
Well, that's true, because Beyonce has made it popular.
Yeah, popular. Yeah, I mean, even that. I mean, how many people within the like country scene absolutely, hating on Beyonce, but she's pushed the genre out there to more people. And unpopular opinion, but Texas Hold'em is a bop. So you just have to accept it. People like it.
It is actually a bop. I've never said that.
It's a good song.
It's a cool bop.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's like it's a real cool. Yeah, it's a cool bop. And it's I actually love it. What do you play?
Hi, David. From Cumbria. I don't think I'm too far from you at the moment, actually, because I'm in Sheffield. Is that far? Is that near Cumbria? I don't know. My geography's really bad. I just follow my sat nav.
I think, am I right in saying, this could be my geography, it's not my strongest point. I think Cumbria is Wales. I think, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, no, I think you're right. I think it is near Wales. Well, David, I'm not going to be a travel agent anytime soon, but yes. I do play guitar. I started learning guitar in August 2025, and I started learning guitar because I was performing at a festival, and a video went up of me performing at a festival. I was singing to backing tracks, and this guy called Shelton commented and said, oh, here we go, karaoke, money for old rope. And he said that because I wasn't playing an instrument and I didn't have my own songs. So I thought, well, screw you, Shelton. So I picked up my boyfriend's guitar and I learned how to play guitar. And I started learning the middle of August. And by the end of September, I'd written my debut single, which was Shoot Me Down. So I picked it up really fast. I wish I could, David, but I am currently in an overnight stay in Sheffield, so I don't have my guitar with me, but I have got, it's a Taylor, and it's mini grand, what's it called? It's a mini GS. What are they called? Grand, let me think what they're called. Guitar grand.
Apparently Cumbria is the north of England, apparently, and it borders Scotland, so apparently it's not Wales.
We need to definitely not be travel agents.
You're doing really well tonight, but that's okay. That's
1 second. It's not a grand concert. Or maybe it is a... No, it's not a grand concert. It's a grand something.
It's a grand something.
Grand Symphony, I think it's called. I think it's called that. Grand Symphony acoustic guitar. Yeah, it must be. Anyway, it's really beautiful. It's like just muted that. It's like a turquoise blue. But I specifically bought it because that particular guitar is great for country music and it's great for finger picking. So I'm currently learning how to finger pick, but that's taken me a lot longer than just playing the chords. A bit too much brain capacity needed for finger picking, unfortunately.
Well, see, like that attitude of that person, needs slapped.
But it's fine because I wrote "Shoot Me Down" off the back of it, and now I've written and I wrote an EP. So that's why my EP has this massive undertone of, as you say, F off, leave me alone.
Well, see,
many thanks to Shelton.
You put an Instagram post up, that thing we should not mention because it's now a swear word to me. I need therapy because I have very negative feelings towards Instagram. We don't get on.
Complaint pending.
But anyway, you put one on about Exist, the song Exist, and also because I'm Voice for Women, the thing you said kind of resonated with one of the reasons I started Voice for Women in the first place, about your own voice getting silenced and people silencing it for you, telling you who you are and keep telling you you're not good enough. And I mean, there's so many different ways in which society and all the systems within society tell you you're not good enough because that's the way it is. That's the way the policy is made up. That's the way that's just the way it is. And differences are sometimes seen as behaviours that need to be corrected, as it were.
Yeah.
And that really struck a nerve, because in the music business, and even not even just the music business, but in life, that happens all the time. And like when you're trying to release music, and like you have critics and you have media personnel who like control what music they play nationally or on radio stations, and they control basically what people hear and what's popular.
Yeah. And some of it's not even that good.
Well, yeah, like you don't actually get to hear the stuff that you love. So like I'm always talking about how hard it is for independent artists with all this social media that they have to do. However, on the flip side of that, it's so good to be able to hear, because a lot of the music I listen to, I wouldn't know what's in the charts anymore because I don't listen to that. I listen to music that I have discovered online since COVID. I have discovered so many amazing artists who are writing music that means something and that it matters to them and it connects with so many people. And that's the power of music. And I think that's probably one of the positives about online, that you can actually get access to music that makes you feel something.
Otherwise hear.
Yeah, or you wouldn't otherwise hear, or artists that you wouldn't otherwise hear. And I think that's a good thing about it. Like there's all you get 20 million jobs to do as an independent artist.
Yeah. I realized the other day that I've got 9 social media accounts, which is insane. And it's just because I've got so many like extra things like tributes and stuff like that. But you can't just have it on one platform. You've got to have it on all the platforms. So it is like a full-time job. And I think that's probably where people burn out more now, is through social media over actually performing live. But just going back to what you were saying about like having a voice silence and stuff like that, I mean, I imagine we're probably a very similar age. And I just think growing up in the kind of late 80s, 90s, didn't really realise it at the time. It's only when you kind of reflect back on it now. But being a woman, you didn't have a voice. No. You didn't actually have a voice. And that's why 90s music was so powerful, because you had so many girl bands, and you had like, one of my biggest inspirations, like Madonna, but look at how criticized she was for just basically being empowered and speaking her own truth and stuff like that. It was very much a case of it was a man's world. And I was from a very, very early age, and the sort of things we used to get told as well, children should be seen and not heard, like all of that stuff that kind of came from generations before us and stuff like that. So you just learnt to be quiet and just like let people, but so many people got away with so many horrible things as I was kind of like growing up. And yeah, I think I don't feel like it's just me that's going through this at the moment. I feel like a lot of millennial women are going through this almost like, not an awakening, but we've just got to a stage where we're saying, no, enough is enough now. Like, I have a voice and I'm able to use it, and I have a brain and I'm able to use it, and you know, I should be taken seriously. So yeah, I think it is really important. It's really important to be able to kind of just speak your truth and exist as you are. And also, you know, as I was saying in my video about Exist, it started off life as, at the time when I wrote it, I had this gig that just went like horribly, like not wrong, but there's only ever been 2 occasions where I've ever stood on a stage and not had any stage presence, and this was one of them. And the reason for it actually was because the group of people that were watching, they didn't like me because I was a woman. Right, that's ultimately what it came down to. So it didn't matter what I sung, didn't matter if it was someone's favorite song, like no one was dancing, like nobody was getting up, no one was doing anything. And there was also no one, the person that had arranged the event, usually what they would do is they'd be in the room with you, so they'd always be kind of like engaging people, like come up, da, da, da. But this person just left me for some reason that day. They must have been having a bad day, and they just left me, and I was like drowning in there on my own. But I got through it, and I came out of it, and I packed my stuff, and I went up to the guy that arranged it, and I said, and he said, I was really cross, and he said, "What's wrong? He said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "No, I'm not actually. Like, what was that? Like, I've not had that happen with any of the events that we've done before. Like, what's going on?" And he sat me down and he told me all of the things that I needed to change about myself, all of the things that he'd previously like championed me for. He was telling me I needed to change. Like at the time, I was under this name of Rhinestone Cowgirl because I was originally a tribute to country music. I wasn't an independent artist. And so, you know, I was told you can't be Rhinestone Cowgirl anymore. You can't have tributes because it's going to dilute you as an artist. You need to be more yourself. You've got to stop singing these songs. You've got to start singing these other songs. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And I basically just sat there and listened for like an hour, took all of this stuff on board, and I went home and I was really upset. And I woke up the next morning and I had to separate what was useful information and what was that person's stuff that they were just projecting onto me. And off the back of that, I just kind of doubled down and become even more myself than ever before, because I hate being told what to do. But it was one of those like straw that broke the camel's back moment. Like I'm sick of it now. I'm sick of people saying to me 1 minute in one breath, "Oh, you're amazing, you're great," and in the next breath, like, "Oh, but actually that's not good enough." And that has been a common recurring theme throughout my life, has been, "You're too much, you talk too much, you don't talk enough, oh, you've got a resting bitch face, you know, oh, actually you're too friendly to people." It's like, okay, what am I? What am I supposed to be? And that is what that whole song is about. And I just think like a lot of people can relate to that, especially, as I said, in the neurodivergent community as well. Like, as we were saying before, there's certain disabilities that people still, they say that they understand them now, but they don't, because they're still trying to whack this massive label on it and be like, "You're autistic," or "You've got ADHD." You know, it's not a case of we want to understand the way that your mind works. It's like, I'm just going to really reinforce that label so you become more of that person rather than being empowered.
Yeah.
In that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bob, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Still in a man's world, but there's so many great female performers out there, female-led bands, to prove the statement obsolete. But do you know what? There's a great song by Florence and the Machine that she released a couple of months ago, and I swear to God, when that record came out, I must have streamed it, I'm not even exaggerating, about 100 times in that day when it got released. And it's called One of the Greats. And there's a lyric in it where she says, "It must be nice to be a man and make boring music just because you can." And like, honestly,
that needs written down.
Yeah, there's a lot of incredibly talented women out there, and they're not getting the recognition that they deserve. someone that's not a woman could release something that's incredibly mid, very basic, and get an outpouring of love and support.
Well, like, I think there was like now I'm not like wanting to slate the whole genre, but there's bro country, which like it's celebrating getting drunk, and you know, them idolizing the female figure for whatever they want to have or do to this female figure. And like the song I'm thinking now, I've said this before, but it's not in a kind of derogatory way, just in a kind of like, I like Kip Moore, but there was a song about, I think it's the truck, like a truck or something. Anyway, he talked about like there was a truck in a field, and and then on that truck was a lady, and that lady was wearing a red dress, and yada. No doubt he wanted to, you know, have some higgledy piggledy jiggity wiggity with the lady in the red dress on the tailgate.
Good word for it. Higgledy piggledy jiggledy wiggledy. I'm going to say that to Dave next time. You want some higgledy piggledy jiggledy wiggledy? He'll be like, not now. Not now you've called it that.
But like, I mean, that's a fun song, and it is a fun song, and he sings it well, and it's fun, and that's. But I think sometimes in the genre of country music, it is about having a beer and going way, and it's like, and that's party, and that's brilliant. But for me, it's not. That's not what I would class country. To me, it's about hearing someone singing what I'm feeling that I wouldn't necessarily open up to a lot of people about, because you'll be judged for it, or you'll be condemned for it, or you'll be labelled crazy for it, or you'll be labelled sensitive, or you'll be too this, you'll be too that, you'll be and all those things. And it's like how we actually function as human beings, and how we're not all crazy and insane. I don't know. But it's like music for me is like the safest place to be, because it's so powerful and so healing, and so somewhere you can actually be. Like when I was listening to your EP, I was sitting in Tesco car park after shopping, and my head was going like this, and I was just like in the middle of the car in Tesco car park, and this girl was staring at me, and she was like, "What is going on?" Like, it's just, you know, just like letting rip and feeling free to be able to, whether you're in the Tesco car park or not. But it's just so freeing when you can actually feel that you can do that and just, you know, just be.
I love that, because this is what I always say to people when I'm out performing. It is honestly like the greatest. I'm going to put the light on in here. I've just realised I haven't even got the main light on. It is the greatest honour to be able to perform for a living, right? And I don't do it because I think I'm a great singer. I don't do it because I want to stand there and say, look at me, watch what I can do. All I want to do is see people forget their troubles. There is no better feeling than basically watching people revert back to like a childlike state and be completely free. I mean, sometimes it's at my own detriment, like my gig last night, where I've several times had to like stop people from falling on me and stop people from knocking over my iPad. Or at one point I started singing Footloose, and I was like, come on, get up. And then next thing I know, there was glasses that had been smashed on the floor where people had like got a bit too footloose, and I'm like, okay, don't get that footloose. But that's what I love. That's why I do it, because I just love watching people be free. So to know that is how people are receiving my EP is actually the greatest compliment, because it's not about whether people think I sound great or anything like that. It is about people being able to lose themselves for a minute, or just to relate to something that's actually meaningful. Like, all of my songs are real, and they're true stories, and they're vulnerable. It's nice to know that other people you're not alone, because other people can actually relate to the stuff that you're talking about.
I think that's for me, that's the most like the pleasure of music, and that's why I love it. And that's in total contrast to everything the music business tells you and says that you have to do, because it's total contrast. That the music business and the creative side don't go on, I don't think. Like, and just like, you know, when you're listening to an EP in the Tesco car park, and in fact, as well, I almost crashed. I don't know if you know Morgan Way, the band. They are amazing. And I nearly crashed my car one time because I was like rocking out so much to their song, like one of their songs was on, and I was like this. And then at one point, I thought the car was kind of moving from side to side, and I was like, maybe you should stop doing this because the car is moving from.
They have to put a warning. They'll have to put a warning on their music.
So maybe you need to stop. I actually told them, and they were like, that, and I'm like, no, well, you know, that's just what it is. I've missed a great comments. Bob has said he follows over 200 female artists on Instagram, some of whom he's actually seen live.
Yeah, that's cool.
Listening to music takes us to so many different places. The freedom, the release. Yeah. I don't know where I'd be without music. I don't know like how I would actually function without listening to my favorite song, or without being able to kind of like I always quote it. It's the Bridget Jones, you know, Bridget Jones at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my myself. It's just like it's the best thing ever, because like if you can't do that to a song in your own room in your Bridget Jones knickers, when can you do it?
Exactly. And I hope that people are listening to Therapy in Session in their Bridget Jones knickers, singing Jackie Says So. I mean, that'd be an achievement. That'd be an absolute accomplishment. I'd love that.
I don't think anyone has. Well, there's been a lot of songs written, but like Jackie Says So is a really cool song in the fact that you're like, well, my therapist told me that you made me crazy. So, you know, up yours.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was thinking the other day as well, it's really funny because obviously it's about like a very specific person, but there's probably multiple people that will hear that and thinking it's about them. Well, it just goes to show like my track record. There's probably a few men out there that are like, oh, shit, that must be about me. Or maybe I should accept that I am actually the crazy one. I'm the problem.
But see, like
Jackie said I'm not, so it's fine.
But see, like this, I'm like, I don't know if you've listened, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's an album in the world, and it's the most amazing album. Like, I just love it. Aubrey Sellers. I don't know if you know her, but she's awesome. You need to go check her out. She is
incredible.
Put
her in my phone now.
The daughter of Leanne Womack, if you know Leanne Womack.
Oh, yes.
She is Leanne Womack's daughter.
Aubrey Sellers.
Can't remember her dad's name, but anyway, there's an album out called Attachment Theory. And it's basically about relationships and why they work and why they don't work. And the different perspectives that we all have getting into relationships, and why and what happens. But like she goes into it in like such depth. And there's also a podcast to go along with it. So she's kind of like taking each song and doing a whole podcast on that specific topic.
Oh, nice. I've literally just found her and followed her on on Spotify. So I will start listening to that.
She like it's like she just has such a way of like visioning how it sounds and how it feels. And like she wrote a song with Ashley Monroe on there as well. You know Ashley Monroe. And it's just brilliant. But the reason I brought that up was because she was talking about people just making people crazy by just being. I don't. Can I see it? Is it after 9 o'clock? Dickheads.
It is. No, it's true. No, it's true, because people can bring out the crazy in you if they know what buttons to push and they persistently push them. The thing is, you become a product of your environment, and when you're in an abusive relationship and that is your environment, so you're not surrounded by lots of people because you're just surrounded by that person, everything that that person says or does, you internalize, and you will just believe it, and you'll just accept it as truth. Like some of the things that I was told, like I pay for your existence is always my favorite one. When I think back, was one of the quite incredible sentences that came out of his mouth. But I pay for your existence. And it was the worst thing, because I genuinely believed that I could not survive financially on my own, because I was constantly told, I pay for your existence. Well, how could you afford to go and do this or that if I weren't paying for this and this? It was always lorded over me. And it wasn't until I broke away and I started opening up to people and saying, oh, I can't move out on my own because, this is what I'm being told, that other people were saying to me, well, how much do you earn a year? And I was telling them, they're like, well, I earn less than you, and I've got a 2-bedroom flat, and I've got Sky, and I've got this, and I've got that. And I started to kind of see, like, oh, this reality that's been created for me isn't actually real. It's a reality that I was trapped in because somebody wanted to make me feel small and worthless. So it's true. People can bring out the crazy in you. When I look back, I don't even recognize the woman that I was then. It's like a completely different person. But you can understand how people can go crazy in relationships when they're constantly being mentally and emotionally manipulated and abused.
Yeah, I think it's gaslighting and stuff like that is like a big term.
Yeah.
As the great John Miles once sang, music is my first love and it will be my last. If music was a man, I would marry him. Anyway, Nat, I notice your next tour is mostly over on the East Coast. Any chance you can come a bit further west, maybe Bristol or preferably South Wales?
Well, asking you shall receive. I am in Bristol on the 6th of June.
Oh, Bob.
So a lot of my gigs this year, I've been very fortunate this year. I'm pretty much booked up until October, which is great. But awesome. A lot of my gigs is a real mixed bag. So I've got tributes as well as like my own kind of like country gigs and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that I've got are festivals and it's me being a tribute. But on the 6th of June, I'm at the Dakota Saloon, which is in Weston-super-Mare. So we'll be doing country that night. I don't tend to always sing my originals when I do these country nights. And the reason being is because I'm really at this like weird crossroads, going back to what we were saying earlier about like how people define country music. I have to find the right songs to support the music that I make. So I can't go to a venue and be singing Shania Twain and Dolly Parton and then whacking Shoot Me Down. Like it's just not going to work, right? It's not going to work. So, but if I'm at a pub, for example, like the gig that I had last night.
Jackie Says So.
It's easy for me to do Jackie Says So because prior to that, people are requesting oh God, we had all sorts of requests last night. But if I'm kind of singing like your Bon Jovis and your Guns N' Roses and things like that, then I can stick in Jackie Says So. Or even like if I'm doing grittier things like Here for the Party and stuff like that, I could stick Jackie Says So in, or any Miranda Lambert or something like that. I can put in something like that. I mean, Shoot Me Down, the chord progression for that quite literally comes from Gunpowder and Lead. I was listening to Gunpowder and Lead when I
Oh,
wrote
yes,
that. So actually, if you think about the chorus
yeah.
and how it's structured, it's very similar to "I'm gonna load my shotgun, wait by the door and light a cigarette." Like it's very similar, like not very similar, but it's the same chord progression. And then I basically went into the producer and I said, but I want an opening like Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. And he was like, that's really left field, but okay. And he created it. That's why it's very Guns N' Roses esque. So yeah, I need to actually do like a little tour
Yeah.
of my own songs. I think on the 24th of April, I'm doing Ron's Honky Tonk, and that'll be the first time that I'm just playing my songs plus a couple of covers, but they'll all be acoustic. So it's not even the same as what's on the EP because it's a more broken down version. What I need is to put a few dates in the diary where it is me plus a band and we go and melt people's faces off with my actual songs.
That would be awesome.
I need to do that. So you've inspired me there, Bob, because I will have to find a way of doing that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because like you do a lot of tributes and you've got a lot of rock influences. And I was listening to an interview you did, I think it was back in January, and you were saying that you're a Hannah Montana impersonator, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
I'm doing it tomorrow. Yeah, so that's my gig in York tomorrow. I'm doing a festival, and one of my sets is Rhinestone Cowgirl. So my old alter ego is coming back, but fully as a tribute, like fully as an alter ego. So sparkly boots and sparkly hat and stuff that you wouldn't usually catch me wearing. Be Rhinestone Cowgirl. So doing some country covers, and then the other part is my Miley Cyrus tribute, but I'm doing my new show, which is like Hannah to Miley. So the costume that I'm wearing tomorrow is what she wore for the 20-year anniversary, Hannah Montana. So it's a real blend of Miley and Hannah, and then it is basically alternate songs. So like a Miley song, a Hannah song, a Miley song, a Hannah song. So it'll be the first time I'm trying it out. So hopefully it goes down well, because it is weird being, I mean, I'm going to be, it's my birthday on Wednesday and I turn 40. So to be prancing around as like a 14-year-old child is amazing, but it is slightly weird. So I'm actually pleased that Miley's done that 20-year anniversary, because now I think people can see an older Hannah Montana. So that's the vibe I'm going for at the moment with my Miley stuff and my Hannah Montana. But it is great. The Hannah brunches are great. I mean, every time someone will pull me to one side and say, oh my God, you've got the best job in the world. And I'm like, I know, I really have. This is great.
But like doing all those kind of tributes and stuff is great, but like I think it's like your stuff is great, if not better. And normally I prefer your original stuff. And if I was going to see you, I'd probably want to see you as you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just because that's, I mean, I remember saying that to, I think there was an artist doing, and she threw a few covers in, because I think they throw a few covers in so that the audience will know a few songs, because you have to please the audience kind of thing. But then I remember saying to her that I said that I preferred your own songs than that, because she did Ellie Langley and she did Jason Isbell and all these great songs. But when she sang her own songs, I was like, that's who you are as an artist. That's the stamp on what music you want to create. And she was like, oh, that's just brilliant. And I was like, well, I kind of prefer to see that from an artist, because it's them. They're not trying to be someone else.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think I haven't really, because I only started writing music in like July last year, and then I released my debut completely on a whim. I just all of a sudden one day I was like, I'd had the song produced, and originally what I was going to do was make an EP and then just release one track, whatever one was the best one. But one day I was just like, basically a few DJs I'd spoke to said to me, Nat, you've just got to get your music out there. You just got to do it. Just see what happens. Stop being scared. So I was just like, sod it, I'm going to do it. And then I released it, and then that was it. The ball was rolling. So I haven't really thought about, even though I promote my music and I class myself as an independent artist because I have my own music, I haven't really thought about myself as an independent artist that people would want to come and see my music. I think I'm still in that
transformation.
Yeah, and I'm still in that kind of like covers. So I've made a change in that now when I tend to go out and do my gigs in like pubs and stuff like that, I will inject a lot more of me into it. So if I'm booked specifically for a country gig, for example, I know that people are going to want a lot more country music. But if it's kind of just a general Nat Hills gig, I always build my set around the people that are in the pubs anyway. So I don't plan it beforehand. I get there, I chat to people, I see what people want. And when people ask me what I sing, I always say to them, well, predominantly I'm country, but I'm also rock and punk as well. So you can throw anything at me. And then they always throw something at me that they think I'm not going to know. Like last night, someone said, oh, Zombie. And I was like, yeah, brilliant. That's one of my favorite songs. And they said, well, if you can do that well, I'd be surprised. And I said, well, I'd be amazed. And I said, well, prepare to be amazed because that's my bread and butter. Like, you wait till I unleash and I start singing Zombie. I had to clear the floor. I was like, I'm going to be throwing myself around, by the way. So just be aware of that. So I can inject a lot more of myself into those sets, which is great because I'm starting to like establish myself a bit more, and I'm not feeling like I have to sing certain songs. And eventually I will get to a stage where people will know me for being a lot more rockier and grittier than your standard kind of, you know, if you want me to be singing Shania stuff, then book my Shania tribute. You know, you won't necessarily get that if it's going to be me coming to you. I think eventually I will establish myself as that. But yeah, I haven't really thought about kind of, I think it's because I don't have an ego. So it feels weird kind of being like, oh, come and see me singing my songs. Come and see me do a tour. It just feels, I don't know, it feels weird. It makes me feel like I'm being self-obsessed. I know it's a really strange way of looking at it but I don't know.
Well, no, I remember.
I don't even invite my friends to come and see me do covers. Like I don't tell people. I go to every gig by myself. I don't take people with me. It's lovely if people want to come and see me, but I don't like to promote myself to my friends and family because I think that they're going to be like, oh, why would I want to come and see you sing? Because I don't do it because I want people to watch me sing. Does that make sense? Like, I do it because I want other people to be happy. I don't think about what I want out of it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think to be like, you've released Therapy, the EP, and that's your music, and that's like a body of work that says I'm here, and that EP in itself needs a tour or shows to support how awesome that EP is.
Yeah.
So that you can show people like, we are in session live, and this is me.
Yeah, you are right. You are very right, Linda. I'm not gonna.
I can say this, and do you know, Bob has said something here that is quite powerful. Cover songs are called cover songs not only because you're covering someone else's song, you are hiding your raw talent.
Oh God, this is a therapy session in itself.
I didn't know we were going to.
I need to hear things like this because it is. I'm still learning. I'm a massive. I guess in a lot of ways, I'm kind of a walking contradiction. But it's because I'm still growing and I'm still learning. I've not really. I haven't thought anything through. I've just kind of like released something, and then I'm like, oh, now I have to figure out the next step.
Well, now it's me to be the walking contradiction because I have released 2 songs on Spotify. 2 years ago. I do write songs. I don't necessarily like. I haven't like,
Thanks, Bob.
I don't have an ego, and I haven't like wanted numbers and wanted to like go and do gigs and things like that. And I haven't really kind of pushed that, probably for the same reasons. So yes, probably I am a walking contradiction saying that, but like, because I've done that and I know that, it's like I think it is important to do it, even if you do it for yourself. Because
I think you're absolutely right in this. I need to have a little, and it's funny because I've got to a stage now where I have got I've got like a little band around me, because my background is I used to front rock bands, so that's where I'm most come alive. Like, it's one thing if you see me kind of singing along to backing tracks, but if you see me on stage with a band, then I'm just a whole different animal, because that's how I started. So that's what I love. Like, I love like guitar driven music. Obviously you can hear it in like what I'd created. So I'm slowly kind of getting that kind of band together, and there are a lot of opportunities that are kind of presenting themselves to me at the moment where I really need to have like at least live drums and a live banjo player, an acoustic and electric guitarist. Like, I can take care of the acoustic because fortunately I wrote the songs, so they're really simple, so I can do that, not a problem. But yeah, I've even got a keys player that's like learnt the keys for Jackie Says So. So yeah, I should get it out there. I think I suppose it's just I always think about, when I think about bands, I think about all the pub gigs I've played with bands, and how in pubs, when you get paid work as a band, it's not a lot of money. And what I don't want to do is bring extra people on board and then not be able to pay them properly. But I suppose you would do ticketed events, so then they would get paid properly.
You would, because you're like supporting an EP. Like, if you're like that's you like at Therapy is Live, so you would be supporting that EP. So you would be selling tickets. You wouldn't be doing it free. Or you could apply to festivals as you, and do that kind of thing next year, obviously, because I think all the applications are closed this year for all the kind of and voices and songs like the ones you have, like with like Morgan Way. I mean, it kind of feels quite Morgan Way-esque.
Morgan Way, did you say?
Morgan Way, Morganway.
Right, I'm getting this person up as well.
Well, that's a band of 5 now.
I'm looking them up.
Fabulous. And they rock socks. They're the ones I nearly crashed my car because I was rocking it.
Did you say Morgan Wade? WADE?
No, WAY.
Oh, Morgan Way.
Yeah.
All one word.
Yes. There is also a Morgan Wade, but it's not. No. They do get confused with each other from time to time.
I found them, so I'll have a little listen to them.
They're fabulous. I'm just giving you all these wonderful, fabulous artists.
No, I'm the same as you though. I tend to only listen to independent artists now, or like I was listening to a podcast on the way here. I never listened to podcasts, but for some reason I listened to a podcast and it was called Talk 90s to Me. Brilliant. Oh my God. Loved it. Such a great podcast. But one of the podcast episodes I decided to listen to was about Jeff Buckley.
Right, wait a minute. I need to write that down.
Talk 90s to Me, it's called. It's brilliant.
I need to write that down.
It's really good. But yeah, it was about this singer called Jeff Buckley, who I had never heard of, but he was big in the 90s. No, I'd never heard of him, but he was big in the 90s. So because I spent half hour listening to this podcast and they were talking about him and talking about his background and stuff, I thought, I've got to listen to him. So then I went back and listened to that. So I don't listen to music like I have a favorite artist or something. I listen to things off the back of, if I like the sound of what somebody is talking about the person, or if I have a recommendation, then I will listen to it. I don't listen to music in the same way as I did back in the 90s where I was watching MTV and I would love a song and then I'd go out and buy the album and then I would listen to that album on repeat. I don't have like a favourite artist anymore.
See, we're millennials. Music consumption was different because you had MTV and you were watching videos all the time because it was constantly always videos because there was no other way of like this. There was no internet when I was young. So like that's what you had. You had MTV and you had all those things and you had like, and as I was talking to other artists and like the lifespan of an album was about 2 years. So they released one single, then a few months later they'd release the album and then they would release another few singles. So the lifespan of an album was a full 2 years. Then they'd tour it and then they'd have a deluxe version. So maybe it would be 2.5, 3 years. That length of an album would be that amount of time. Nowadays, it's 1 day. And it's like, what's next? Like that New Music Friday's over. We don't want to hear about that now. That's yesterday's news. Why are you talking about New Music Friday on Sunday?
Yeah.
Do you know?
And then on the flip side of things, you could promote. So, like, because Jackie Says So is the one that is so catchy. I will literally just promote that now, probably for the next few months. So there'll be people that have heard it, and so they'll be like, "Oh, bloody hell, she's doing that again." But there's going to be so many people that have never heard it, like never heard it.
Yeah.
And that's why now you have to like promote it every single day, because that's the only way it's going to get heard by more and more people. But I suppose that's essentially what MTV used to do for the artist, wasn't it? Because you just had that rotation of music videos.
Or radio as well, because Bob has just said when he was young, it was radio, not even MTV. And I remember, because we're showing our age now tonight as people, when the chart was on, and I would be there with my tape recorder.
Yep.
Coming on, but I don't want that the DJ would talk over the start and end of it.
Stop.
Shut up talking. They don't stop. And yeah, it was very differently consumed music, and I think for music's sake that lifespan of an album in music, because it takes so much to make it costs so much to make it, and I think it was more treasured in that sense. Not that it's not treasured now, but for 1 day to make an album, to make an EP, to make a song, and just for it to last 1 day, I just think it just doesn't do it enough justice.
So depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it depressing? Like how music has, like where we are now with music, like when we were talking about earlier about like heartfelt songs and stuff like that. I saw someone's video a few months back where they were like, nobody listens to lyrics anymore. I'm like, what do you mean no one listens to lyrics anymore? Like, why am I writing music? What do you mean nobody's listening to the lyrics anymore? Like, that is crazy to me. Like, I want to know exactly what someone's feeling. There are songs now that what song was it I was singing the other day? God, it was an old R&B song. Can't remember what it was. But whatever song it was I was singing, I was thinking, all of these years I've been singing this song and I've not even realised it's about a person. And then I wanted to go back and find out, like, well, who's this song about and what's it actually? I want to know about it. But because music's just constantly streamed now, nobody cares. They just want to hear something that sounds the same as the next thing. Or my partner put it in a good phrase the other day, actually. I said to him, I feel like I'm stuck because I believe that the music that I'm making is really great music, but I don't believe it's music that the masses are going to appreciate, because people don't really care about music in that sense anymore. And he was like, because people, it's just background noise now. It has to be background noise that a kid would listen to, because actually that's who's listening to it now. Like, so if you're driving your car or something and you've got your kid in the background, you're not really listening to what the music is. So it just needs to be whatever the kid can listen to. That's why Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, all of these people are popular because they've got catchy tunes that children like to hear and sing along to. So you can't have anything that's too risque, because it's like the adults aren't really listening anymore, because our brains are just so switched off. They're elsewhere. They're burnt out.
Bob has just said some of today's music is just noise. Thank God for people like you, Nat.
Thanks, Bob. I agree.
Have you listened to Nat CP, Bob? Have you listened? Maybe the fact that when Instagram wasn't working, you probably had time to listen to it if you hadn't already.
Yeah, it's only 15 minutes.
You could listen to it 3 times over. The faff of Instagram even.
So funny.
that was a bit. I just don't understand that Instagram. But anyway, it's just I would love if it just on Spotify. Yes, he's listening. There you go. There you go.
It's on Spotify, it's everywhere. But I just keep pushing it every single day. I just try and do something a little bit every day to kind of keep it in people's minds, because and then give people a little bit of a breather. I've got into a habit now of scheduling my content on Instagram, so I can't spend my life on social media.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't think many of us can, but that's the digital age. That's what they call it.
Yeah. So I just try to kind of create content now, even if it's just a week before, schedule it so I know I've got something going out, but I haven't got to think about it that week.
And this is completely away from in session and therapy and exist and all those kind of powerful emotional statements. To a picture I saw of you on Instagram, did you play Elphaba in Wicked? Were you just dressed up as Elphaba for just an Instagram?
Just for fun? No, I so my background, well, for the last 17 years, I have done amateur theatre, so a lot of musicals. And through that, I've obviously met lots of other kind of musical people. And weirdly, when I hit my kind of mid-30s, actually late 30s, I started getting a lot of princess work, which is so weird because, they're all like 16, but, whatever. And I kept getting kind of requests to be Elsa from Frozen. Obviously got the bone structure for it and can carry off Let It Go. So I've been Elsa a few times, and then the Princess Emporium, who have used me a few times for Elsa, asked me to fill in as Elphaba. So it's not playing Elphaba in the production, but it's for kids' parties. So that's another little like extra thing that I do every now and then as well. Go and kind of perform as Elphaba for kids' birthday parties. But I'm in my villain era now. I've kind of said I don't mind being Elsa, but I just feel like there are much younger women that could play Elsa now. Like I'm in my villain era. Like make me a Mother Gothel, or make me a Maleficent or something like that. Like that's my dream now. Like I want to be the villain. I don't need to be the princess anymore. Like I'm comfortable enough to be the bad guy. They're more fun anyway. So yeah, but yeah, I've been very fortunate. I've been able to play lots of great parts. Like in that same carousel, there was a picture of me as Nancy, which was like a lifelong dream of mine to play Nancy and Oliver. So I did that a couple of years ago, and I've been Morticia Addams. She was a dream. I loved being her. So yeah, actually, that's my plan for my my album is to essentially create a rock opera style. So I decided that on my journey today. That's what I'm doing. I've got the title for it. I just need to figure out the order. It's definitely going to have an overture. I know that much. So yes, I'm going to have fun with the next one.
This sounds awesome. Exclusive right here.
Yeah, it is.
There
You
was
watch
a
someone come
song,
along and steal my idea now, and then I'm going to have to.
there was a song by Slade from Flame called Far Far Away that I had no idea what it was about for years. I found out about 20 years ago it's about a solo sexual act. Can't listen to it now.
There's a few songs like that out there.
Bob, your comments are funny sometimes. And villains are so much more fun. Well, do you know something? I just feel that, yeah, I feel I need a villain era myself because being nice just doesn't work sometimes.
It doesn't. But you know what? I always believe in being kind. But I also think it's important to have the balance. Like, I think one of the main reasons why I get booked and rebooked is because I'm nice. I will walk in and I will chat to everybody in that room and I will get to know people and make friends. And I mean, last night, the first 3 songs, a dog sang with me. It was the funniest thing. It was so funny. I made friends with this dog beforehand, Belle. She was so sweet. I say she was so sweet. She was like a Rottweiler or something. She was a massive dog. But yeah, she just, the first 3 songs she sang with me. It was so funny, and to the point where I was kind of like able to say to her, okay, wait. During Sweet Home Alabama, she actually got, you know, the bit in Birmingham, they love the governor. Ooh, ooh. She actually got the ooh, ooh. Like, perfect timing. I was like,
And tune as well.
it was so funny. But if somebody is rude, you have to be able to put them in their place, you know, like, so I think it's important that you can be a kind person and you can be a bad bitch at the same time.
That reminds me of I'm back to your lyrics now. If you want to go to heaven, you need to create a bit of hell.
You to raise little hell. Yeah, that's a cover song. So that song was originally by, that's a cover. So it was originally by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, but I heard it because it was Hank Williams Jr. did a cover of it in the 80s. So I was going through my Hank Williams Jr. phase where I was trying to find out where I fit in the country scene. And Hank seemed to be kind of where I fit. And I was listening to all of his back catalogue and I heard this song, if you want to get to heaven, you've got to raise it with hell. And there was a line in it where it said, I've been called country, I've been called rock and roll. And I was like, oh, okay, I relate to this. So I decided I wanted to make a cover version of it, but I wanted to bring it into more modern day country. And then I discovered that his version was a cover. So then I listened to the original version and he had actually changed the lyrics to say that. So there was a couple of lyrics that he'd changed. So in my version, there's a couple of things that I've slightly changed. So it relates more to me. So for example, the original, I think it was, I heard it in the country on the wireless radio, I think was one of the lyrics. Hank changed it to, I heard it in the country on my pickup radio, whereas I changed it to what did I change it to? Didn't hear it on something, or country radio. And the reason why I changed it to that, I literally did it in the studio, that's why I can't even remember what bloody words I sung, but I was referring to the fact that my music doesn't get played on a lot of country radio stations because it's not classically country. So some of my music does, some of them does. If I present it as, oh, I've got this person playing pedal steel on this track, then it will get played. Or if I have, this song's kind of a Patsy Cline song, then it will get played. But Shoot Me Down, for example, and Jackie Says So didn't get played on a country radio station, not mentioning any names, because it's not what they would class as country. So that's why I changed it to that, because I don't have a pickup radio or a weird radio, but I wanted to say my music doesn't get played necessarily on country radio. So but it's a great song, and I feel like
Amazing.
Andy Shaw, who I worked with on that, who produced it for me, did a really great job of taking it from the original. Then the 80s version was more rocky, and then this one we've really gone like
It's
have
it's a
that.
it's a huge song, and your vocal on it is like massive. And I think that was the
Yeah,
one. I think that might be the one that I was rocking out to be quite honest.
it's such a shame that it ended up, my EP, it ended up much smaller than I anticipated, because basically 2 of the tracks didn't make it on there. One track just wasn't ready, and I'm still working on it at the moment. And the other one was my duet that I did with Dan Jones, A Winter's Tale. And although that song
Is it? Yeah.
was a song about one of my relationships, when we put it out through DistroKid, our distributor, I said to him, you put it out, like you can sort it all out, it's fine, no problem, I trust you, like, you know, we'll get it all sorted. So it's all, everything's 50-50. But what we didn't realize is, because he had distributed it through his channel, I couldn't then distribute it through mine for my EP. So streaming platforms basically said, no, we're not going to allow you to put this on your EP because it's gone through somebody else's account. So the only way we could have changed that is if we took the song down and then I re-uploaded it, and I can't be bothered with any of that. Like, it's fine the way it is. Like, that's a decision that we made. But actually, I feel like my EP is better for it, because if those other 2 songs would have been on it, the flow of the style of music wouldn't have been the same. So it's much stronger how it is now. But the sad thing is that the only song that hasn't been released on it is If You Want to Get to Heaven, You Got to Raise a Little Hell. The other ones have all been released as singles. So I don't want that song to just live on the EP hidden, because it is a great track. So I think that will probably be my next release. It'll probably be my next release, but I will release it a way down the line. I'm going to start kind of drumming up a lot more interest first in my music, and then we'll hit them with that one, and hopefully
you'll definitely hit them
to just go up.
Need another
EP now, I know.
An album.
Yeah, I was going to do an EP next, but I think I am going to work on an album, and I want to take my time with it, because this was just like whatever I wrote, basically I got produced and I put it on there. Whereas now what I want to do is I want to take the lessons that I've learned from making this, and I want to put my time into actually creating a much bigger body of work, having it all ready to go, and then drip feeding the songs. So choosing what I think is my strongest song, releasing it, and then maybe releasing the album, and then releasing the song every 6 to 8 weeks or something after that, because I think that's just the way that things have got to be done now.
I remember someone, I think it was Hannah White, she released a song every month. Like, that's burnout. And even like Nicole Allen, don't know if you know Nicole Allen, she's got,
oh my god, she's incredible. Her vocals are insane.
And Hoddy P just came out in January.
I need to listen to that.
And she's already releasing a new song that's not even on the EP.
Yeah,
she's already into a new era, and that was only like January. It's like, wait a minute, like, I was like, don't burn out. What are you doing? Give your chant EP. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's kind of the like.
I think it's because this is the advice that we're given, is that you should be releasing something every 4 weeks. I mean, I did it on the lead up to this, but I must admit I was feeling burnt out, and so that's why I'm not doing that again. I don't care if that is what people are telling me I need to do, because I'm going to have to do things in a way that means that I'm still enjoying the process of what it is that I'm doing. And realistically, you can have a song that Shoot Me Down, for example. I might have released that back in November, but not many people have heard it. So let's say by the end of May, I've got a lot more people that have actually heard my music. I could re-release it. I could restart posting about that and it could take off better than what it did the first time round. I don't think we necessarily need to keep creating more and more music. I think we just need to keep pushing the stuff that we've already done so it reaches more people.
Can't do it. Nicole is immense. Her voice is mental.
It
Bob's
is
asking
so
physical
great.
copies. Have you got physical copies of your EP? Because if you had physical
No,
copies,
not yet. So my next stage is to sort out my merch. So I'm in talks with people at the moment about hats. So I think I'm going to get some caps made, and I will get some physical copies of my EP.
you could
made
add
as well.
on. You could add on Winter's Tale then as a kind of like bonus track type of thing if you wanted.
I probably could do that, couldn't I? Because the saddest thing about A Winter's Tale is it's such a bloody brilliant song and it's barely been listened to.
Well,
The streams, I think probably since it's been released, I think it's had less than 100 streams. Isn't that crazy? And it's such a beautiful song. Like, we had such a great time making that. And Danny's just such a talent. He was so amazing that I basically gave him my initial idea for a verse. And then he just came up with this really beautiful melody. And then he kind of changed the words around a bit. And it was like, and then that became like the opening verse. And it was a real joint effort. Do you know what I mean? Like, I made the chorus and a verse, and then he made the other two. And then he did all the melody and stuff like that, and then drove all the way down to me for us to record it. He produced the whole thing. Like, it was made with like so much love, and we promoted it, and it just went nowhere. And it's such a great song, and that's another reason I'm bummed I couldn't put it on my EP, because I wanted it to be listened to more.
So you can, like, that means like if you release
That's a great idea
album, you can say there's an extra track on it that's not going to be that's not on the digital format, and you can have extra tracks. You can put the song that's not ready on it, or you can put something else on it. You can have like 6 tracks on your EP as like bonus extras, or the deluxe version of your EP.
It's a good idea. That is a good idea. I just wonder what's the best thing to do, though, whether to actually get CDs made or to go with vinyl, because I don't know.
It's up to you, I think.
If people do people still play CDs?
Yeah, people buy both normally. Like, people, diehard fans that just love music will buy both. Probably buy 2 copies of both.
Yeah, I need to get that. So it's next on my list. I'm just trying to think at the moment about my what my branding is, because I feel like at the moment I need to go through a little bit of a rebrand. Holiday and kickstarted a career. Yeah, Madonna's a queen.
Bob says
you have both. CD and vinyl. Yeah, but I'm going for a bit of a rebrand at the moment, because I just feel like I need, what I've realised recently as well is that any artist, female artist, probably the same for male artists as well, but I think predominantly female artists, they all, and any that actually do well, they have a gimmick, or they have something that is very, very specific to them. So if you think about Madonna, you think about comb bra. Right, that's iconic Madonna. If you think about Cher, you think about the turn back time outfit. If you think about Miley Cyrus, you think about someone sticking their tongue out. If you think about look at some independent artists, think about Bronnie, you think about the fact she's got bright red hair. There are certain things that people have that are very specific for them, so that people might not recognize the name, like, for example, someone I went and saw recently, Kitty Cohen, she's absolutely incredible. But I reckon that people would describe her as, the Western witchy one with the red hair that wears the really cute dresses. Do you know what I mean? So I need something like that. Before, that's why I think Rhinestone Cowgirl did so well, because it was a gimmick and people knew who I was, because they'd be like, oh, it's Rhinestone Cowgirl. I'm not that anymore. So I'm trying to think of a brand that's very specific to me, so that when I get the hats and stuff made, it makes sense.
Do you know Hannah Roper? Have you ever heard of Hannah Roper or know of Hannah Roper?
I think
The reason I'm asking this is because Hannah Roper is good on the branding and has now what's it she called? I'll send the thing on to you because she does advising artists about this kind of stuff, about branding and about finding what your brand is and all that. She's very up on that. She's very, very good. She's runs Country on the Coast Music Festival as well. So she's probably a good one to send your music. She's a good one to send your music to as well.
I spoke to her because I applied for Country on the Coast, and she obviously emailed everyone back, even the people that didn't get onto it, because I sent her an email back and said, like, that's really cool of you basically to do that, because not a lot of people would actually take the time. So I shall reach out to her then, because that would be great. Because I'm thinking, I don't know, at the moment in my head, it's either something red related, something red or leopard print but then leopard print, I think you think of Shania.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking, do I double down on the kind of punk route and almost go like, like the Sex Pistols with the Nevermind, with the paper cuttings, that sort of thing?
See, when I was listening to your EP, I didn't think Sex Pistols.
I thought Sex Bomb.
No, like it's kind of like it's like empowerment and vulnerability.
It is. That is me. That is me in a nutshell.
That reminds me of Willa May. I don't know if you know her. That reminds me of Willa May. She has that kind of that vibe as well. Like she has such vulnerability.
Like, how do you put that into a colour scheme? Do you know what I mean? How do you put that into a visual?
But see, I think that's the same with Voice of a Woman, because like I do have a colour scheme, but I don't really have like how can you put real and like chats like this into a colour scheme or a brand or a tagline or a pun. Do you know what I mean? Because it's more than a pun and it's more than a tagline. It's heart, soul, and it's there's a lot more in that than just a gimmick or a brand or a there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you're more than just one thing in that.
Yeah.
EP. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot going on in that EP, so I think it needs more than that, like dressing up as somebody from the Sex Pistols, or I think it needs. I think it needs more kind of. Yeah, I think it needs more than that. Do you know?
I'm just thinking from a branding perspective in terms of like a trucker cap, or a t-shirt, or.
Bob has just said, "Vivid purple is empowerment."
Vivid purple. I don't really like purple though. I'm a black or a blue or a red.
Black heart.
Yeah, I do use black hearts quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I need to have a think. Maybe I'll speak to Hannah though. She might come up with some good ideas. But Hannah, yeah, I think
she would kind of like, she does that a lot of times, and she helps women with business and all that. Like she does so many things. Hannah Roper, she is like unbelievable. Don't know how she does it.
That's good. I shall get in contact with her then.
She would be your best bet, I would say, in that kind of branding type of thing. And even the UKCMA as well would probably be. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because Hannah Roper is the educational guru for them. I call her educational guru because she kind of is. And they go through all these kind of different aspects of what an artist needs to have a career and be who they are and all the things that are involved. And there's been a lot of songwriting sessions with the songwriter. I think Sonia Lee and Hayley Jensen did them, and they all wrote songs together and all that kind of thing. And also there's been solicitors talking about contracts and so many things. So it's probably worth it. Yeah. A black t-shirt with a claw rip exposing a heart. That sounds like a horror movie, Bob.
It does.
It sounds like
like it,
Omen or something. It does sound like a really cool, like a black T-shirt with a claw.
I think whatever happens, it'll be black T-shirts. But I just want to. I don't know. I'm just trying to even think of my like the style of writing for my name. That's what I'm thinking when I'm saying like the Sex Pistols style writing, because it just needs to be not like me as a brand. I'm talking about like my how would I want someone to wear my name?
That's different.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a hard one. I've always had a bit of a thing about fonts. I'm really pedantic about fonts. I don't know why, but I'm really pedantic about fonts. So yeah, so I need to speak to somebody about that. Not just Hannah Roper. I probably need to speak to my therapist about why I've got a thing about fonts.
Because Jackie says so.
Yeah, I need to ring up Jackie. Jackie, I've got a problem.
We could be here all night. I'm going to wrap up. I wrap up these Voice of a Woman Instagram lives with some very random, fun questions that Bob seems to like. So this will make Bob happy and see where you sit on these very controversial, very difficult topics of conversation.
Jeez, I'm going to lay down for this one.
You actually now the first one. Now, this is very controversial, and even Tesco have done an advert claiming so and dealing with this exact topic. Pineapple on a pizza. Where do you sit?
I love pineapple on a pizza.
Yay!
I love pineapple, and pineapple in a chicken burger as well is really good. And in a normal burger is really good with burger sauce. Yeah.
Isn't it just because I remember having that a chicken burger with pineapple. It was the first time I had it, and I was like, oh, it's delicious. Because there's the pineapple on pizza is like it's a very divisive topic. Love it.
I don't understand why.
See, I don't understand.
Very easy. It tastes good.
It does. It really, it really does. That was very easy. Oh yay! It's like soulmates right here. I'm like, yes, soulmate. We should do a kind of tally of like how many where we are up to, but I've not done that. And then the other one, there's a few, but anyway, is the Jaffa cake. I'm very confused by that little nugget. Maybe it's just a nugget. I don't think it's a cake because it doesn't really look like a cake to me.
Well, they say it's a biscuit, don't they?
Well, it's not really a biscuit either.
I don't think it's a biscuit.
But it's not really a full, like it's not. See, we're boxing things now, aren't we? We're putting them in boxes. However, the Jaffa cake is like, it's not really a proper cake because you can't get a knife and cut it.
Well,
and you couldn't put a candle on it and go, happy birthday to you. Because somebody, why have you just given me this? That's a biscuit.
You could, but it'd be a very sad birthday.
No, like, to cut it into like 8 pieces and give them a crumb.
A biscake. I like that, Bob.
What was that? A biscake? Ah, pineapple in a burger. Never seen that one. As for pizzas, yuck. No, Bob. Why do you not like pineapple on pizza? What is the problemo? It's delicious.
It is delicious.
I like delicious. It's absolutely delicious. The other one that I've discovered and added on to the proceedings, because one night, it was hilarious. There was a live stream and people were talking about how actual controversial this is. Do you put milk before the tea or milk after the tea?
Milk after. I don't drink tea. I drink coffee, but I do make a good tea. But how can you know how can you manage how strong the tea is if you don't put the milk in after you've brewed the tea?
Fair point. I don't drink tea, so I don't really.
Yeah, I don't drink tea, but I do make a good tea. And you have to brew the tea first and then you add the milk sparingly. I don't understand people that put a lot of milk in coffee and tea. That makes me feel physically sick. So don't do that. Don't darken my doorstep if that's the kind of tea or coffee drinker you are. Basically. Get in the bin.
These questions get to the root, get to the soul of a person. Sometimes these simple questions: a pizza, Jaffa cake, and tea, and it just really, don't like pizza. Full stop. Oh, that shocks me.
Dear Bob.
We need to get you liking pizza because that just won't
Can't
do.
put a candle on a cake of soap. You've been drinking, Bob.
Where did the soap come into things, Bob? I don't know where the soap came into effect. That doesn't really like. What?
Oh dear. Right, I've got to get all my tracks on my USB ready for tomorrow.
So, for people who need to find out more about Nat Hills, where can they go to find you?
I keep it very simple. Everywhere is Nat Hills Music. So whether that's Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, even X, but I don't use that. I just downloaded it to kind of stalk radio DJs. It's just being honest.
I do have an X, as it was. I think I've got 3,000 odd followers on that, but I've not used my Voice of a Woman X because I don't like it being called X for a start.
I don't
It's
like it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, X.
But yeah, it's very, very easy to find me, Nat Hills Music, or my website is nathills.com.
Fabulous.
Super simple.
It has been a pleasure to finally talk to
Apple
you.
Music, YouTube. Shouldn't forget about my music, my actual music. You can find me on all streaming platforms.
Therapy in session, and you can have your own session with Nat Hills in the car park in Tesco and rock on down because that's what you have to do. That's what music does. Hopefully, years ago, soap was sold in cakes, not bars. You're definitely showing your age there, Bob. But anyway, hopefully see you in Western Supermare, Nat, says Bob.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'll be great. See you then.
So go and check out the EP and Nat Hills, and hopefully before too long, we will see a Nat Hills live tour being Nat Hills.
Oh, yeah, let's get on that now. Thank you very much for all your words of wisdom.
Or Shania Twain, or anyone like that. And Linda, I will see you next Saturday in Bath. Yes. I can't believe I said I'll see you in the bath, Bob. See you in the bath. Anyway, yes, I'll see you. I'll see you in bath, Bob. Yes, that was the Instagram that we shall never speak of again. Anyway. I will see you. Thanks for joining, everyone, and everyone that catches up, because I'm going to have to now download this and pop it on YouTube because I don't want to lose it after 30 days because Facebook's mean that way and steals them all. So I'm going to.
Thanks, Linda.
I'm going to put this on YouTube. This has been great, and we'll definitely do it again when your next album.
Podcast pending.
Yes, and branding pending, and all the things. Touring pending, and yes, festivals pending. And everything. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.